Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you why Reduvia is still a crazy weapon even in 2024 and in the DLC. It is what I killed the last boss of the DLC with for the first time on New Game Plus 2, so I can confidently say that they can crush almost any boss with the exception of being maybe Elden Beast because it's immune to bleed. So why is Reduvia good? Well, first off, you can get it right at the beginning of the game. So if you pick Bandit as your starting class, you have a very powerful weapon that you can get from the start, and you'll also start with another dagger that has bleed. So you're just insanely strong just right out the gate. It also has a ranged bleed attack that can proc bleeds very quickly. It also is one of the few weapons that does bleed damage plus 200 instead of bleed damage plus 100. So it has the versatility to get in close when needed, but you can also attack in range during large wind-up attacks such as the last boss in the DLC, which is a good example. It's something he did. He goes up into the air, he does this big light blast attack, and I actually used that moment to just start spamming a special attack on him to help get extra damage and do stuff like that. And on top of that, because you're dual wielding daggers, you have a very, very fast attack speed, especially when you dual wield them. So they're pretty solid in PvP and versus things that are just slow in general. So we get Reduvia at the very beginning of the game over here by this cave where Patches is. All that's going to happen is somebody's going to invade you, you kill them in the invasion, and then boom, you get Reduvia. Keep in mind this also progresses the Bloody Finger Yura questline. If you can't dual wield them because you're on your first playthrough, just pick up a Great Knife. You get this from either starting as the Bandit class or by farming demi-humans. If you're early in the game, you can go to Lakeside Crystal Cave in Lernia. There's a demi-human in a bush at the start of the dungeon that you can farm, or you can go to Craftsman's Shack in Mount Gelmer. There are 4 demi-humans north of the shack hiding in some sheep. Next up, what we're going to need is a Lord of Blood's Exultation. So from this Avenue balcony side of Grace, we are going to go find the entrance to the subterranean shunning grounds real fast. You just need to walk over here, hop over this here ledge, walk over to the right, and drop down. And then it should be up and up over to the right over here. There's going to be a well that you want to just jump into. Then, open up the gate. And I don't believe there's anything too dangerous. I think there's a couple of rats, but that's about it. Yeah, there should just be rats down here. Run down here to the doorway, and then after you get through this door, you're just going to want to run past these big guys. You don't need to fight them. You can just hop down. I don't think you really need to take the stairs. And then, yeah, take a left right there, and there's your side. Alright, so from the underground road side, we are going to go make a little drop down. Main thing here you got to worry about is these little imp dudes. Some of them will spit poison, so be careful about where you're walking. And then there's going to be some really big shrimp down here, and I think even a crab. So they will, whatever that long range attack is, they will hit you from, they will spit on you from like 20 miles away, so watch out. But then you got the entrance there. So all we're doing now is we are just looking for a lever that is going to open up this door here. This is actually kind of a big spot, and you'll see that, so be careful when you're going through this because there's going to be 2 rooms that are going to look similar, but you're looking for one specific one that is going to have this like big opening in it. Watch out for the fire and the exploding guys. And then you're going to want to hit this thing. Hop up here, you can grab the Crucible Scaled Talisman if you'd like. Then we're going to hop back down and make a little bit of a run. And then up here, there's going to be a big guy. So kill him if you want. Fairly easy to do from range. You can just kind of spam a special attack on him if you want. He bleeds like really fast. And also, that's I think too about Reduvia is the special attack applies the bleed faster than the actual like hits with it. So come up here, drop down here, wrap back around, then come up here again. We'll have this hallway we want to go through right here, and then we want to keep on going down this hallway. Watch out for the imps. We are looking for a lever. Right here, this is going to open up our boss room. And then we will come in here and we will kill the boss. The boss isn't really very hard. I was using Bloodhound Knight Floh and a pole blade in here, and you can see it just destroyed him. Now you have your Lord of Blood's Exultation. Alright, so to get this, we are just going to go to the Drainage Channel side of Grace in the Halic Tree. Kind of run around, drop around, run around on some branches. This is going to give us a nice 20% physical damage reduction. This is really especially good in the DLC, especially when you don't have your Shadows of the Erd Tree blessing yet up. So it's, yeah, you need that Shadow Tree blessing up. And this is really going to help you. And even after you have it, it's just going to be a cherry on top. But you're going to find it down here in this chest over to the left right there. Alright, so now we're going to want the Warrior Jar Shard. This is going to increase our special attack damage by 15%. Now, you get this at the end of this quest line here. You can do this quest line for the Warrior Jar Shard. It's going to take you all the way to Farum Azula. Alternatively, you could just kill him and you'll get a 10% version. I mean, I recommend just doing the quest line because it's fun. But if you don't feel like doing the quest line, then yeah, I guess I get it. But yeah, it'll take you all the way up to Farum Azula to finish this, which is kind of a later in the game area. But it'll give you a 15% version. Otherwise, you can just kill him and get the 10% version if you would rather do that. Next up, I'm going to recommend using the Rotten Winged Sword Insignia Talisman. So you get this from doing Millicent's questline. However, that's going to take you all the way to the Halic Tree if you're going to do that. So if you don't feel like doing that, you can get a lesser version of that talisman as well in Stillwater Cave. That's going to be in Learning of the Lake, so you can actually get that pretty early, which is pretty nice. It's just not going to do as much. Instead of having I believe it's like a 6, it's like a 6, 9, 13, it's going to be like it's like a 3, 5, and a 10 or something like that in terms of what you get whenever you hit something. And keep in mind, it's not doing that every time. It's giving you up to a 13% attack power boost, depending on how fast you hit, and it decays over 1.5 seconds. But all you got to do is go to Stillwater Cave and kill a Clean Rot Knight, or do the Millicent questline, which is a rather long questline again. So be careful on that. So for armor, we're going to be using the White Mask as our headpiece. You get this over in Mog's Coliseum. You just have to run around and kill an invader. Keep in mind, if you have killed Mog, but you have not gotten the White Mask yet, you have locked yourself out of it because the invaders will no longer invade you after you kill Mog. So be careful on that. But this is going to give us a 10% attack power boost whenever we proc bleed. So pretty nice. Alright, so now for armor, I'm going to recommend the Rakshasa armor. The reason for this is because the other armor that I'm going to recommend you actually cannot get until New Game Plus. So from this Golden Hippopotamus side of Grace, or alternatively, if you go in from the Church District, you can actually work your way backward to get outside of here. If you do that after you get into the storehouse. But you want to come over here, hop on this ladder down here, and go down. But like I was saying, the other armor set that I'm going to recommend is called Ansbach Set. It's going to increase your weapon special attack damage by about 9%, because we're not going to utilize the whole thing since we're going to use White Mask. Otherwise it'd be 12%. But you cannot get this until you've completed the whole entire Ansbach questline. So it's more of a New Game Plus set, unfortunately. Now, it is pretty sweet, though, because it doesn't increase your damage taken, whereas the Rakshasa set is going to increase your damage, but at the cost of increasing your damage taken. But these are going to be the two armor sets I recommend, and when it comes to the Ansbach set and completing the questline, it will take you all the way to the final boss of the game, so remember that in order to finish it. And I have heard that if you kill him beforehand, you can get the set, but that would lock you out of getting the incantation if you haven't gotten it yet. And I also have not killed him myself, so I cannot really confirm that. But if you wanted to try it, do it at your own risk. If you really wanted the set, it's only a 9% damage boost. It's not the end of the world to wait, especially when you can just go grab the Rakshasa set. Yeah, so come over here, and then down here, you'll see the tomb, or whatever. Yeah, the tomb right down there. That's where it is. Hop down and around here. Do a little hippity-hoppity action. And then you'll have to kill a boss in there, which really it's kind of a glass cannon fight. It's like she does a lot of damage, but as long as you kill her before she kills you, it's going to be fine. But yeah, so come in here and you will have your armor set. Alright, for incantations, we are going to be using Golden Vow. So go over here to this Road of Antiquity side of Grace over here in Mount Gelmer, and we are going to make a little bit of a run. Nothing crazy here, but there is an invader, so after you pick it up, just be careful to not just get blown off the face of the earth by the invader. But yeah, it is totally good after that. All right, you'll see here it'll knock you off your horse, and then there is your golden vow. So one of the next options, keep in mind this is not going to stack with Flame Grant Me Strength, but you can either choose to do Howl of Shabriri or Flame Grant Me Strength. Flame Grant Me Strength is going to give you a 20% physical damage buff. Howl of Shabriri is going to give you a plus 25% damage done at the cost of plus 30% damage taken. So make this run over here from the deck to Slift. Just be careful with the madness, because these things will wreck you if you're not careful. I know I think there's a couple ways of doing this. I've heard some people in the comments say you can like jump from a ledge or something like that to get up there, but this is the way I found it's been the easiest for me. But yeah, watch out for the rats. Come up here, and here is your Howl of Shabriri. It's going to be up here in this chest right here. Alright, to get Flame Grant Me Strength, we are going to come out here over to Caelid, and we are going to make a little bit of a run over to this fort. I don't believe there's any sites of graces that are going to be closer unless you've maybe cleared out the dungeon. This one seemed to be a decent run no matter which one I went to. That's okay, because we're not even going to be going inside the castle or the fort. We are just going to be running beside it. And in between two of these flame cannon things is going to be the Flame Grant You Strength. Just watch out for all the archers and such. And it is going to be right back here in between both of these things. And there you have it. Alright, so now to get the Opaline Hardtear, which is going to give us 15% damage negation, we're from Caelid, Fort Farrell side of Grace. We are going to make a little bit of a run, and we are going to kill an Erdtree avatar that is right down here in front of this tree. And I noticed the ones out here in Caelid, careful, your spirit summons get wrecked by these things. So, yeah, kill this guy and you will get your Hardtear. Next one we're going to want is the Thorny Cracked tier. This is going to be in the Consecrated Snowfields. This is going to give us increased attack power as we hit things. So it's going to increase the damage every single time we hit things. I mean, alternatively, you could use something like the Dexterity Knot if you wanted to. Or if you have another one, but really when it comes to dex builds, this is kind of my favorite one just because it gives me a nice attack power boost as I hit things. So when I'm doing builds where I'm hitting in rapid succession like I am with this one, yeah, so you want to come up here, get lost for a second like I did, and then yeah, wrap back around to the right area, and there's going to be an Erdtree right up here in the spot to the left. Alright, so after you kill Radon, there's going to be a big crater in the ground over by Fort Height, so just walk over there, hop down, and that'll take you down to where I'm at right here. And then we are going to be doing a little bit of a run. Just keep on keeping on here. But yeah, it's going to be a little bit. But whenever you get to the boss here to kill the silver tier, just make sure that you take off whatever armor you're wearing, and then it'll spawn with nothing on. But yeah. Alright, and alternatively, if you don't have the white mask yet, that silver tier mask that you get here is actually not bad. It increases your arcane by 8, which is actually quite a lot. And it's also pretty good if you just want to have an item discovery build on. Yeah, but now from here, we are just... Oh, make sure you have a couple stone sword keys. You do need to have, I believe you just need one, but you do need a stone sword key for this, so make sure you have one of those. And there's going to be another side of grace right here. And you can get a stone sword key from like virtually almost any merchant. Like everybody sells them for like 4,000 gold apiece. I know you can get some from the Twin Maiden Husks. There's also one that you can pick up right by Stormvale, like whenever you meet the Spirit Ash person for the first time. There's one right there as well. Like those things are everywhere. You shouldn't have a whole lot of trouble finding those. No enemies that are too crazy to get. But yeah, well, with the Mimic Tier, it's going to be probably one of the best spirit summons that we can get for this, just because it's going to help us apply bleed. Another honorable mention is going to be Bloodhound Knight Floh. I actually do really like that one as well, because it seems she applies a decent amount of bleed, so that one's pretty nice. But yeah, kill this person and you'll have your Mimic Tier. Alright, so first honorable mention for summons is Bloodhound Knight Floh. You get this in the Gelmir Hero's Grave out in Mount Gelmir. You just have to go to the bottom of that, kill the boss to get it, but she is pretty solid. Inflicts bleed, will help you build up bleed on, once you get to like New Game +3, she falls off a bit on certain bosses, ones that just have really high AoE damage. Like, she wasn't really too useful on the very last boss fight of the DLC, but she's been useful in lots of other boss fights, and especially on your first playthrough, she'll be good virtually against any boss. And as long as you're not immune to bleed like Elden Beast being kind of the exception to, the bleed builds. Alright, so now I'm going to show you guys how to get a good damage mitigation consumable. Keep in mind this is considered a body buff, so if you're getting damage mitigation from another body buff, if you're following my other incantations, you shouldn't. This should stack just fine. But you start off, you can get Boiled Prawn, which is 15%. You can get it really early in Learning of the Lakes here just by running and doing this quick quest to start the quest line. And then all you have to do is just go a little bit further into Altos Plateau over by where you fight the Dung Eater at over here, and you'll find him, and he's going to be all scared of the Dung Eater if you're doing the Dung Eater quest line, and the Dung Eater's going to actually end up killing him. But even after he dies, once you get his bell bearing, you can get Boiled Crab there, and then if he hasn't died yet to the Dung Eater, you can buy Boiled Crab from him right there. But make sure you do the Riot quest line, because if you do move too far and you never actually get that necklace in time, he's never going to actually be able to sell you the Boiled Prawn, because you're never going to be able to do that quest. Alright guys, well that's going to do it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Reduvia has been a fantastic build for me. You can do it early, mid, late. It's just an all-around great build. It's going to absolutely destroy most bosses in the game. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.